Hey guys, I am Foxtrot Delta, and welcome back finally to some more Space Engineers, something I have not recorded in quite some time, and I have built yet another ship. This one is a unique design compared to my other ones. It doesn't have that many weapons on the exterior, but it does have a weapon system that is somewhat unconventional, but you definitely see a lot of in Space Engineers. And what this ship is, well, first of all, it was supposed to look something like a submarine, actually. It has two gigantic engine pods and a long, slender hull. And actually, all of these engines are self-contained. Inside of here, there's a bunch of hydrogen, and they don't damage each other because they're far enough away. Anyway, I think that's cool. But what this ship is it is a torpedo launcher. It is basically a giant space submarine, and that's the sort of look that I wanted to give it, and that's how I wanted it to act. And so it fires a torpedo. Not just any torpedo, but a gravity-driven torpedo using artificial mass blocks, and they are self-replicating. If we go inside of here, this is actually a projection. Go inside of here, there is a merge block, and there are welders, and back in here, there is a projector hidden somewhere. It's back farther. Here it is, and it projects. Actually, no, it's this one down here, the one that's off right now, that projects the torpedo, and the one above it projects the exterior hull here. And it'll project it, it'll weld it up, and I can launch it. It uses timer blocks, and it is pretty impressive. This thing can rip through just about any ship that gets in its path. But the one downfall of this I've noticed is that the missiles that it launches are somewhat susceptible to enemy turret damage, so if you are attacking something with this, it's best to attack them either when their turrets aren't on, or from an angle where they appear to be least defended. So this would be used for large ships that are standing still, or structures on in space stations. So let me show you the inside. Let me get my character here. There we go. And let's go in. This ship uses the new hydrogen engines, actually, in the latest release of Space Engineers. We go in the back here. Look at that. We have, I think, 6 hydrogen engines all piped into the system. We have gyroscopes, conveyor things. These look so cool. Just take a moment and look at these. Wow. Anyway, and this is part of what gives it that nice submarine feel. A giant diesel electric. Okay, we have 4 cryopods, a med bay. There's the airlock, obviously. And here is the bridge. It is red. There are no windows on this thing. It is all made out of heavy armor, so this thing can take a pounding. And it is called the Strategic Torpedo Frigate. Currently, I haven't come up with a better name for it. But really, the idea is that you would warp in, or jump in this case, to a location where there is an enemy, and you would maneuver at a distance about 2 or 3 kilometers out, and you could launch your torpedoes safely and not be noticed. And if you were noticed, this thing could escape. It has 2 jump drives, and since it is heavy armor, it can take quite a beating from hostile ships and still be just fine. Except for maybe the turrets on the outside. Those aren't very well protected. But the main weapon is pretty well protected. Also, it has that screen in the front that really, really makes it look like there's nothing in there. At least from a distance, it looks like just another normal part of the ship, and people won't know what to aim at. So if I go into FreeCam for a moment, let me just show you everything that's in here. We have this section, obviously. Let me turn on my light. And then we get into the bridge. Has a bunch of chairs, gravity generator. Here is a timer block, one of the timer blocks for the launching mechanism. Okay, let's keep going. What is down here? Not much is down here. Although back farther, behind the engine room, we have a large hydrogen tank stashed back here, where everything is nice and connected. I hope. I think. Yes, it is. So we have a conveyor system hooked up to that hydrogen tank, which is actually hooked up to a large cargo container. That's what this thing is. Look at that. This is so cool. So you have a large cargo container, a hydrogen tank, and a... let's see, there's the junction between them. And if we go even farther back, you will see we have thrusters inside the ship right here. We have forward and rear thrusters in this little cavity. So, like I said, all of the thrusters are inside the ship. They're not actually external, which kind of bends how physics works, really. I mean, if the exhaust from these is all going inside, they'd be pushing equally against each other, and it wouldn't move. But this is Space Engineers, so it's completely okay. If we go even farther back, there are 2 jump drives hidden inside this section, and it is all capped off at the end with a layer of heavy armor. Inside these engine pods, I already showed you, we have thrusters going every which way. One of the things about this ship is that, at least so far, it has more rear thrusters than forward thrusters, so it actually goes faster backwards than forwards. Not by much, it's only a 3 thruster difference, but it is slightly noticeable. Okay, we've done that. I've shown you that. Oh, and also, the launching mechanism is actually stored in the top here. We have gravity generators along the top. There are also 2 more in the side down here, one over here, and one over here, respectively. And let me show you how this works. So let me grab a target here. Let's grab my Independence class. By the way, this ship will be on the workshop, ready to go for you guys by the time I upload this. At least that is the plan. Yeah, I'm still going to be working on it some more, but it's almost done. It's very minimalistic inside, very simple, and it's just supposed to be sort of like this space submarine that goes to where it needs to go and launches projectiles from where it needs to in a strategic and stealthy manner. I mean, actually, I was in a server with this earlier, and someone told me that it reminded me of an asteroid. They didn't even know where I was, because it has no antennae, it has no beacons, nothing. It's supposed to be stealthy, so let's grab, something really far out here. Let's grab the Independence class. I'm not sure how far away this is. By the way, the Independence class here is also on the workshop, and I mean, look at that. Can you really tell that's a ship from this distance? No, you can't. Okay, let's get this nice and, well, there. Perfect. Let's head back to our seat here. Turn on the HUD and sit down. I believe this is the main flight seat, main cockpit. It is. Now, in order to use this, oh, by the way, we also have a connector up here. Anyway, in order to use this vessel, you go to the second keybind option here, and you can either hit 5 and disable the exterior cover, so you can actually hit 4 and look through the camera and see what it is you're aiming at. So that's less than 2 kilometers out. This thing is exceptionally accurate, so even if they were 3 kilometers out, you could still see them. They were still rendered in. You would still hit them. Also, one unique thing about these torpedoes is that they don't engage the artificial mass blocks until they're disconnected. Let me build one. And even better is once they're disconnected, they're only active for 1 second. They only accelerate for 1 second, and then the artificial mass block, singularly, excuse me, turns off, and it can't be affected by other ships' gravity fields. So we have the mass block here, a timer block, a battery, merge block, and there is a sensor on here that lets this thing know, hey, I've been disconnected from the ship. Engage the artificial gravity. So we have that here. I'm going to turn off the projector now, turn off the welders. I'm going to line up, or not. I'm not going to line up. I'll just launch it. I hope I was lined up. I hit button 3, that was the timer block, and take a look at this, perfectly on target. Boom! Took off the port nacelle, completely shattered the oxygen production, hydrogen storage. Look at the damage that thing did. It is drifting. There's no lateral thrust. This thing devastates. Now, let me just see this for one more second. I will grab the Independence class here. I will stop it. And I will go back. And let's actually try this from the camera's perspective now. So we're zoomed in, locked on target. Let's target the bridge. Let's build another one. Okay, let's hit button number 3. Built another one. Firing again. Let's fire 2. Let's turn those off. Go back. Let's take a look at this. Oh my gosh. Tore right through it. Oh, I snapped it apart. There's nothing left of that ship. So yeah, quite a lot of firepower on board, especially if their turrets aren't on and they're just completely unaware. This would be sort of a first strike tool to cripple their defenses before they're even up. So let's clear this from the Independence class. Let's remove. Remove. Just want to make sure I'm not accidentally going to remove my connector on my piston. Okay. Anything else that I can show you about this? I'm not sure. It does have a jump range of 993 kilometers, so it can't really jump between planets that well, but it's more of an in-system thing. I suppose you could dock it to a larger ship, or at least a ship consisting of just jump drives to transport it, but it's good for in-system defense and assault, and I think it will work really well. So this has been the Strategic Torpedo Frigate. Not much to it. I can tell you briefly that the way this thing works, it has 2 timer blocks. One engages immediately, and it turns off the ship's gravity, turns on the gravity launchers, and turns off the merge block. And then it starts the second timer block, which is right here, timer block 2. And this timer block turns back on the gravity, turns off the gravity launchers, turns back on the ship's gravity, and re-enables the merge block. And then the welders and the projector can do their thing and create a new torpedo right then and there. Let's show you guys how fast this can launch. You can also launch it with the door closed if you're lined up on something. Firing. Look at that. It's away. Firing. Can actually switch to the camera here. You can see when it's complete and ready to fire. And you could just bombard a station or a ship with these very quickly. Let's take a look at how fast these go. I think they go at about 182 kilometers, or sorry, 182 meters per second. Also, they fly relatively straight because the artificial mass block is in the front, and that, yeah, like I said, that is the Strategic Torpedo Frigate. I think it's a lot of fun. Maybe not the most practical thing in existence, but it does look cool and it is intimidating. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this Space Engineers video. If you guys did, please be sure to leave it a like. And if you are not subscribed, did you want to see more? Well then please subscribe, because I do plan to record more Space Engineers on this channel. If for whatever reason, however, you guys did not enjoy the video, I do apologize for that. And I ask that you leave a comment in the comment section and let me know what it is that I can do to improve the next videos that I produce, so that hopefully you guys will find some entertainment when you watch them. And yeah, Space Engineers, it is out of early access now. It has all kinds of cool bells and whistles, new blocks, those hydrogen engines I showed you. It also has windmills, I believe, and small batteries you can put in fighters. A lot of really neat things, and this ship is exceptionally cool. So I hope you guys all have an absolutely wonderful day. And as always, I am Foxtrot Delta, and I will see you next time.